which you will notice a big difference in terms of the size, the shape and the depth. So whereas before, if you hit your tee shot in here, chances are it would run through it, but if you did get stuck into it, it wasn't a difficult approach. But now the depth of it is a lot deeper. We've made it a bit smaller here. There's new drainage gone in. So now we're going to go in, just give this a rake over, turf around the edges, and then this bunker will be back in play as well. But now, if you're in this fairway bunker, it'll be a much more daunting second shot to the green. Because if I stand in the bunker now, the lip of it now is an awful lot higher than what it was before. As we approach the greenside bunker on the first, you notice now this has also been made a slightly deeper and a little bit smaller as well. Sand's been added, it just needs to be raked over. Left-hand bunker's now had all sand added. Just needs a rake over, finishing touches, ready to go back into play. Centre bunker is slightly changed shape in terms of the right hand side of it's been filled in a little bit. It has been made a little bit deeper as well. Sand's all in, just raked over, ready to get back into play. And just an area here on the right that will get turfed. We move over to the right hand bunker of the third. A bit of a major change with this one. It's made now into a much deeper pot bunker, and as you can see, the back right hand side of this has all been filled in. We just need to get the mini digger and level this off next week and get it seeded. But the actual bunker itself now, all sand's in, just need to rake it over. As we approach the fourth ditch just in front of the green, when we were digging out the small pond to the left of the new fifth green, we found there was 3 big railway sleepers dug into the ground. So what we've done, we've dug them up and we've left them here, and we're going to put a bridge through the centre of the ditch on the fourth. Walking towards the new fifth tee, we'll see that it has now been extended another 1.5 meters wider. This will now allow us to play this new fifth hole at its full length. Wanted to make it slightly wider. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people hitting irons off the tee, so there's going to be a lot more wear and tear. So we needed to create a slightly wider tee. If we stand on the new fifth tee, this is what's going to face you as you arrive to the tee. So as you walk up the fifth, give you a bit of an idea of distance you'll be looking to hit your tee shot off the tee. Anything in the region from up to about 180 to 215, 220 yards will be the maximum that you'll be looking to hit your tee shot, depending on what you want to leave yourself for your approach shot into the fifth green. We all know when we play a hole and there's water in front of the green, there's nothing more daunting. It's whether you want to have that little half shot onto the green or you want to leave yourself a full shot where you can commit to it and accelerate through the ball and not decelerate and end up plopping it straight in the water. So as we approach the start of the fifth fairway, you're going to start to see now that you can see the bank behind the green. You'll see the green all in front of it's now been leveled. We'll start to get seeded on Tuesday, and the liner will come Wednesday, and we'll start to put the liner and start to fill the ponds up with water. So I'm now sort of just walking up in line with the end of the fence, and this is where most people are going to be looking to hit their tee shots. So if you're hitting your tee shot on the fifth and you're in line with the last pillar of the existing fence on the fifth, this is what's going to face you now. 90 to 100 yards left. The fairway will extend slightly further up, so those that are want to leave themselves slightly less into the green, this is what's going to face. So as your approach shot now, this is what you'll be looking at. So you'll see that you've got the pond on the left, the pond on the right, you'll see a bank behind the green. Over that bank will be out of bounds. So we'll walk around the right hand side of to start with, so you can see how the right hand side of the green is banked up. So this is now to the right of the green. You'll see now there is a runoff area that is very similar to sort of what was on the old 11th hole down the right hand side, but I'll give you just an idea of how much earth has been moved and raised when we come down. This here is the old ditch that used to run across the fairway, which has now got our drainage from the green that runs into here and will drain away. This is sort of ground level, and you'll start to see how much we have had to raise the contours around this area. This is the pond, which is to the right as you look at your approach shot. Bit of a kidney shape at sort of in this back right corner. But this is an awful lot lower than the pond to the left as you look at your approach. This is obviously because of the issues we've had with archaeology, and we weren't allowed to dig out the pond on the left as much as we'd like. So as we come round the left hand side, which is where we've created the walkway to the green, you'll see the pond on the left as you approach to the green, which it is nowhere near as deep as the pond on the right, but that is purely because of the archaeology that was in this part of the area. So as we walk round, you'll see that we've created a new path. And we've got the new green, which, as we look at it from this position, it will slope from back to front and from left to right. So it's not a flat green, there will be some contours in there. The reason it was sloping from back to front, obviously, is anything which is over the top of this ridge here will be out of bounds. So we wanted to make the green as receptive as possible, so you're hitting into a very slight upslope, but also want to make it a little bit of contours. As it's only a 270, 280 yard par 4, its defence is going to be the water, and the green is going to have some subtle breaks and contours in it as well. So as you look at the back of the green, this will be in bounds at the bottom of the slope. Anything where the ball is going onto the top of the slope and over will be out of bounds. Now what we're going to create at the top of this slope is we're going to plant some flowers right the way along the top, and you'll see a definition between where the grass stops and where the flowers begin, and the flowers and the bed of the flowers will be out of bounds. And as we look back, and then we've also got the pond, which is now to the left, a little small pond as well, which we've dug out, and it's starting to line itself already. So as we approach the two greenside bunkers on 6 now, the middle has been slightly raised and drainage corrected into, so that the right hand bunker now will drain into the left hand bunker, which then has got a main drain that runs across the fairway into the ditch. Both these bunkers are now ready to come back into play. We're just going to seed through the middle or turf it. In this right hand bunker of 6, there's now some steps down into the bunker as well. If you look over to left hand bunker now, this has now been filled in. We're going to smooth this off with a mini digger next week, get some root zone on it and get it seeded. which has obviously been widened and extended. I'll give you a view from both sides of the tee, so you can see the difference in visually it makes from your tee shot now hitting over the pond on the 8th. But this has started to take really well. It's now been top dressed and is getting cut regularly, so we'll be playing on this tee hopefully when we can get the course back open for you. But it's amazing the difference that this hole makes now. Stood from the old 11th side. This is where we're on the 11th side, the left-hand side of the tee. I'll walk back now to the full length that we can play this hole. And this is the view you'll get from the left-hand side of the tee. And this is now the view you get from the right-hand side of the tee. It looks so much more daunting stood here, especially when you can see the fountain going and the carry of the pond. Be a brave man to take this on now, I think. The face of this will all be getting turf, so this bunker will only now have sand in the base. We'll come over to the left-hand bunker of 10. You can see this has totally changed shape now. The sand's all in ready and the sides have just got to get turfed.